Welcome to vlog 50. My name is Laney Luv, and today, to commemorate 50 vlogs, we are going to go through my sketchbook, which I just finished this week. I want to preface this by saying that I am new to painting. I started painting in January 2021, so this is not going to be like great. Sorry, but it's true. I'm 100% honest with myself. I am just new to this painting medium stuff, so what you're going to see in this sketchbook is a lot of practicing, and we'll just go through it together. We're starting off with some left brain, right brain doodles, also left hand and right hand doodles. It's just like an exercise to sort of open your mind and loosen up the hand. Yes, some of this stuff looks like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. I am totally aware of that. It's pretty funny, but it's a lot of fun to sort of do these single lined, don't lift up your pen or marker type of drawings. Next up is what I call an amoeba doodle. You will see these throughout the book. This is sort of my go-to type of drawing when I know I should be drawing something, but I can't actually think of something I should be drawing, if that makes sense. So I just start out with a few big shapes, either circles, triangles, squares, whatever, just random sort of squiggles, connect them all together, and then create negative space and add detail afterwards, and this is the result. I love doing these. These are super fun. Sometimes they take 30 minutes, sometimes they take 3 hours. Just depends on how much detail I want to put into it. But yep, this is generally my go-to when I'm feeling stuck. A few more doodles. I'm going to pass through these quickly. Some weird Adam and Eve doodle. Left-handed, hot mess. Okay, this is where painting starts to happen. I bought some really cheap watercolors, and I had some vintage imagery of like black people back in the early 1900s. The one on the right is Josephine Baker. She's at the beach in France, and I was just kind of getting the understanding of like how this medium works. Yes, it was the wrong paper, but it was a really great place to start. I love the Josephine Baker one on the right because it really feels expressive, feels like her. This was my first color portrait of someone. I really struggled here because I couldn't get the depth of like the cheekbones, and like the face itself was everything felt very flat. I tried to make the picture look like the one on the left, but I drew that in pen, and what I did was in watercolor, and it just, first attempt, not terrible, not great. The next few pages are just black watercolor tests where I was trying to do expressive cartoon type of drawings. I really love the one on the right with the shading. It turned out super realistic. This is just a test page of noses and different shapes of noses. I really love noses. Not much more I can say with this. This other piece on the right was a painted attempt of the amoeba drawings. It's terrible. I will not. No bueno. No, like, it's terrible. So let's move on from this. I have no more to say about it. Dreadful. Just dreadful. Okay, these are sketches, both with right hand and with left hand, as I've sort of indicated on the page. Also with looking and without looking, to sort of build up trust within your hands and how you do things. Also single line attempts. Some of them turned out really well. I like this page. It's a great exercise. Remy Malek is in the center underneath the plant. These are pen. We can move on from this. This page is from one of our more serious art jams that I do with the bestie every couple of weeks. These were quick poses of dancers and just people who were moving. So some of the poses were painted in like 30 seconds, and so that's why they have less detail, and others were painted like within 2 minutes. These two images, these were our sort of longer poses. So the one on the left, I believe, was about 8 minutes, and the one on the right was 15 minutes. I like the longer poses. I liked how they turned out. I think they are solid, and it helped with getting a bit looser with the medium. So then I just sort of randomly decided to paint this colorful bird. I did this in gouache, a combination of gouache and watercolor, and I was happy how this turned out. This was my first attempt at painting birds, because they're strange creatures. The proportions are different. The coloring, the layering of the feathers, this is all very new to me, so I think it was a good attempt. Another amoebas. So, same girl, two different mediums. I first drew her out in pen because I thought she has such a very sweet face, and I loved how her hair was braided, and I wanted to try to attempt that with painting in watercolor. I think I got some parts of it right, but she looks much older than she actually is, and also I didn't really like the shading on the neck. I don't think that was quite successful. This was from an art jam, so these were 30-second facial expressions. Now this art jam, I think, was one of the ones where things just started to shift. I started to understand how the face was working. So as you can see on the left side, these were quick images that I ended up going back to and sort of adding a bit more color and a little more depth. But initially these were about 4-minute images to paint, and you can see the date was February 19th. So the progression was quite quick with painting, and I don't know where this came from. I just kind of I love old people. I understand their faces and the expressions, and with the woman on the right, loved how that turned out. But the one on the left, I was really not satisfied, but I knew I was going to come back to it because it was a black and white image, and this man had very beautiful, wonderful features. So I decided to paint, use pencil for his portrait. So I went back to it, and I spent a few days on creating this pencil portrait of this man, and I really liked how it turned out. It was very realistic, and it was my first attempt at deep realism, and I think it worked. I think he has really an incredible face, and it was lovely to just sort of be able to stare at his face and try to capture his essence and energy. And he has crazy cataracts in his eyes, and he couldn't see very well, but still it turned out well. This is when the painting just started becoming a little bit looser and quicker, and I was able to draw a face very quickly without too much thought, and really started to be able to capture the depth of field and textures better. I think all of these three faces on the right side turned out pretty well because it's realistic. I no longer needed to really stare too long at being able to structure a face on the page, so I was happy with how these turned out. Oh boy, this is me trying gouache for the first time, acrylic gouache. So didn't know it dries super quickly, and I swear I've seen that woman, the one with the red hair in the street, she actually exists. So these are just loose pen poses, sketches. Painted my plants, which I featured in my vlog many a times. I think that one on the top is pretty much dead by now. But yeah, just painting, making sure I do something every day. So these three sketches I really liked. This is of Tina Turner when she was Anna Mae Bullard. So when she was younger and not as polished, and I loved how these pen drawings turned out. Neil Gaiman, he's on the left right there. That's his face for sure. More quick poses with pencil crayon. I'm sorry, this is terrible. This is This was an art jam gone wrong. And there's sometimes you can paint, and then there's just sometimes you cannot. I really struggled. This day was not a good day. I could not see anything. I don't know what happened. Thank you. And again, apologies for blinding your eyes. Quick pen sketches of some nudes. This was one of those TV doodles when you're watching television and you draw a person that you're seeing on television very quickly. That's what that was. More pencil. So this was from an art jam, some quick poses. Went through these very quickly, but then changed it up and used brown paint as opposed to black paint, and just kind of changed things. I really was able to see muscle tone and the shapes of bodies better. I liked working with this color, and I liked what was coming out of it, with being able to just see the structures of the body a bit better. So I felt like my painting sort of started to improve. You can see on the next page, this was a very pose-heavy art jam that I was doing with the bestie, and I loved what came of it. And so the ones on the right were longer poses. The ones on the left were about 4 to 5 minute poses, but I loved them. I loved how this looks. Now, I don't know what happened on June 19th, but all of a sudden I could paint. It all started to make sense to me. I could see faces better. The ones on the left were quick poses again, quick faces. They're a bit demonic, yes, dark-sided faces, and I look at them as like the first pancake, where you sort of throw them away. Usually the first few drawings that I do, it's as if I've never painted or drawn in my life. But then something happened, like the following day, where something clicked in my brain. I was using a new watercolor set. These were the Cotman watercolors. Things started making sense. When you start to use better quality tools, this particular palette didn't have any blacks in it, so I had to mix my blacks. So I got to really experiment more with this certain palette, and so the quality of the colors was just better. It was stronger. And look at the two faces at the bottom right-hand page. I mean, they're cute, right? These are people they exist. You've seen them, I'm sure, and I love the way I did the hair. Very pleased with the faces on the right. So to avoid this becoming a 30-minute video, I'm going to stop things here, and this will be the end of part 1. Tomorrow, part 2 will be up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you back again tomorrow. Bye!